Hey, Dave Localio with Head Games Motorworks. Now, we do all of Calvo Motorsports cylinder heads, and you might be wondering what goes into those 3,000 or 3,300 horsepower Vipers. Well, we got one. We're going to tear it apart and check it out. Now, this thing has seen tons of abuse because, well, that's how all of Calvo Motorsports cars seem to do. They're very reliable and they take a ton of abuse. All the big turbo and small turbo heads come with our CNC ported intake, exhaust port, and combustion chamber. These are the pinnacle of performance because we put so much time into R&D and making sure ports were perfect. These are our custom titanium intake valve and our custom exhaust valve. Now, what we did was we did the intake out of titanium because the valve is very heavy, and you can see here that the valve looks really, really good. The 45 looks great. I don't really see any kind of issues with it valve floating, and you can also tell by the tip of the valve. There's no problems there. Now, we used to use valve seats to take heat away from the valve. The copper bronze is on the exhaust, nickel bronze on the intake valve. Let's talk a quick minute about the valve guides. These valve guides we made so we can use an LS valve seal style. The factory comes with a hat seal. That's certainly not going to work with us. This is for a solid roller, and we need something that you can use a smaller valve seal. Now, we offer both versions. We offer it with the LS and we offer it with the hat seal. The valve is very trick, so we use a factory size valve. So we get them made by Manley Valves, and then we get them PVD coated by Victory. And this makes it so you can run a titanium valve on the street. It can go anywhere it wants to go. It's coated and it doesn't have any issues. Here's something else that we innovated into this. Now you'll see that there is a little ledge here. Now what that means is this side is 313 thousandths and this side is 311 thousandths. And we did that because we're using a Manley spring kit that the valve lock is only available in 311. And we kept the stem size the same, so that way we can make the same size guide and don't have to have two different size guides and everything's uniform. The other thing we did was, instead of machining the head for the spring kit, which is what I've seen a lot of people do, we put it into the valve stem. So we lowered the lock and made a little bit longer of a stem or of the tip height. And now we can run our same spring, our same geometry, everything's same between the hydraulic roller and the solid roller, and it's just in the valve. The exhaust valve, as you can see, has no wear at all, and this is one of Manley's, it's a custom valve, but it's a Manley severe duty exhaust valve, which I definitely have seen some severe duty. And we did the same thing here on the stem side down here, and we moved the lock just like we did on the intake. For a valve spring for a solid roller, you can really get away with a lot of spring pressure. So what we have here is one of Manley's Next Tech springs. This is just a really badass valve spring. We use this on all the high horsepower big turbo builds, and you can see how big that retainer is. If you compare it to a factory LS, which is the same size stem, you can see the difference in just the hole size there. So we use a Super 7 valve lock, and that's why the hole here is so much bigger than, no, this is the LS. The OEM comes with a triple groove lock, but they have the same size stem. Just for comparison reasons, you can see that these are massive, and that's to hold the crazy spring pressures that we run on this. So one of the biggest problems we had on trying to figure out a valve spring kit for the Gen 4 and 5 Viper is its spring height is a little wonky. We use this spring. I said this is a solid roller. This is a bad dude. We put this thing on there. Magic wand. We're 368 foot-pounds. on the seat 733 open, and we're 98 thousandths away from coil bind. This is what it takes to run 3,500 horsepower. Thanks for watching our sneak peek into what goes into these crazy Viper heads we do for Calvo Motorsports. Please like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and what do you want to see next? Toodles.